G'day YouTube, welcome back to another video on my channel. So I actually have another Trident maple to have a look at, and it's another recently acquired tree. Very fascinating and very interesting tree, very unique. Not the standard kind of tree you look for in Tridents, because I just want to show you this funky looking base. It's got some roots, almost Nagari style or exposed root style on this side, and it's got another tree here infused. And really looks funky. It's got this side little tree here. It's got this tree in here, this trunk in here, and it's got the main trunk over here. It's quite a tall tree, quite interesting. I do like, just having a quick look, I do like this as a front. It's very unusual, very funky looking, very special, very unique. I have no idea what the roots are like, but I'll have a look at that in shortly. But what I really want to do is show you how you approach the top half of the tree, especially in deciduous times, or when it's got no leaf. So whilst I don't know what the final look of this tree will be, I know that it's quite a tall tree already. I know that I like this little bit here, I like this little trunk in here, and something has to be done here to make a third trunk. So I envision a big tree here, a little one in here, and a little one in here, so it gets kind of goes smaller as you go, because this funky root system can lend itself to something unusual. I mean, I haven't looked what the roots look like. Maybe there's even more something special. Maybe we can tilt the tree a bit more to this way. Maybe I'm thinking maybe it can be tilted a little bit to my left. Probably your left as well, I think. But if we tilt it this way to the left, it might be really cool and funky. But what I want to do predominantly is show you how you approach, again, brand new looking tree. Now what do you do when you see all these bush long branches and things that don't look right? So when I look at this, I go, I know what I like and I want to know what I don't like and what needs to come off, and now's a good time to cut those off. Probably seal the wounds as well, just for now, and I'll repot it so it's pretty much ready to go and explode. So fresh roots, fresh soil, and recently reduced and cut back. So that's the plan. So I want to show you what I mean by I go through the tree and look at what is good and what isn't. So let's start on this guy. Let's start on this tree here. I know I want a smaller tree, but you can probably see these massive, heavy, straight, tall, boring parts that don't really lend itself very well. Now, if I remove that, it's going to leave a bit of a wound, but you know what? If I remove that, it changes the whole dynamic of the tree. So I know that definitely has to come off. So they'll be going first. So I'll probably just take the big one off just to make myself some room. So I'll just show you quickly what it looks like now. Totally different, we're ready. Now I'll keep going back, I'll be able to reduce it right down. That's that bit come off, that's that bit come off. There's this bit, I'm going to work on that wound to make it nice and clean. So I've just got to get some knob cutters. I'll be back. Alright, so I just got some paraffin cutters or some knob cutters. Now I can see it's a bit bleeding actually, so what I'm going to have to do is seal these wounds. So what I'm doing is making it more concave cut, so when it heals flat. Now I'll probably use, doesn't matter which one, you can use the putty mix or the soft mix. It's such a big wound, I might use the putty mix because it will just stay on there. Just get some out. So the putty mix is this interesting, it's like Play-Doh almost, but it's much harder. So I get something like that. I'm massaging my fingers just a bit to soften it up. I wet my thumb and then I press it on there, because wetting the thumb just stops it from coming off like that. Cover that wound up. And now, how different does the tree look already without those two big shoots off there? So that's one thing I wanted to show you very quickly on this tree. I do want to repot it, but I just wanted to show you what I would go about doing first. So I'm going to leave a lot of these little ones, but there's some dead bits. So I'm going to come in and cut these dead bits off. I like that. Now in here there's a little heavy one here, and there's a nice, much more interesting branch at the back. So I'm going to come in and take that one off. It's a bit tricky, but it'll come off. Just take him out, because I'll show you why. All these branches would regrow anyway, so I've took him off because this bit was very bland and boring. It comes off. I have to try and get in there to clear that wound out. It can be tricky when the branches are so close together. I don't have this. There's some smaller tools you can get to get right in there, but I don't have them. But that should do for me. And I'll seal that wound as well. Might use the softer one because it's such a small one. Now all these branches are a bit more interesting. Now we see something like this, it's probably hard to see, but it's very heavy, and there's actually no nodes on this one, so I'm going to cut it back to where there's some nodes. I like the finer branches, so I want to keep the fine ones as much as possible. So that's a bit too tall here, and there's no buds at all here, so that comes off. So you can see now we've kind of formed a nice little tree starting to form already just from a few cuts that shouldn't be there. So anything with long straight bits that there's no nodes at all, we'll never have a node there, we'll never have a branch coming from there, it's got to go. Same with this guy. Let's clear you up. That bit's dead. And there's something really quickly just from trimming. There's a nice little tree. You can see what I'm thinking for the future. I'm not going to wire or anything like that now, I just wanted to see what it looks like quickly in place. Now I'll move on to this slightly higher tree, and even though it's a bit straight here, it's kind of unavoidable. I think we're going to have to keep that bit for now. I see this guy here, it's kind of long and lanky, and I don't like the look of that, so I'm going to cut him off. Now what I'm hoping is actually some back budding comes along here and makes it a more interesting tree. This bit's not too bad. We'll leave this bit alone. Just reduce the top a bit. Take that right off. So I'm just reducing it back to buds, or the nodes. So that's that bit cut off. So now maybe you can start to envision what I'm looking at. A small tree here, a slightly bigger tree here. Now the tricky bit's in here. So all the growth seems to be up the top here. It's all quite heavy, and it all is quite ugly as well. So this is the bit where we need to think about. I need to think about what I'm going to do. So some of these branches are quite nice. Maybe some dead bits. You know, they're quite nice here. Some nice, interesting lower branches. Trying to make a nice canopy, but all this is way too heavy. So either we regrow all this, cut this bit off and regrow it, which probably is going to be the best option. I'm also contemplating could be interesting is if I put an air layer around that, even if I take it off, like that's some of the ideas I'm thinking. If I air layer that off there, that'd make a funky little clump style tree, you know, possibility. And then I'm going to regrow the top anyway. Maybe I can even use one of these to regrow the top. Or you can get into it and really cut back all the way. Yeah, I'm just looking at it. So what my biggest problem is, even if I cut back a lot of the things a lot of the way, there's a lot of reverse taper. So this is quite, in here it's quite skinny, and here's quite fat, and that's what tells me this is not gonna do well in terms of what I'm after. So even if I reduce all that back to 1, could work. But I think ultimately what I'm going to do, I'm going to be taking that off, I think. But I'm not going to do it today because I want the tree to recover. But I'm going to leave this pretty much alone for now. I'm going to keep these 2 really cool little trees. You know, the tree this butt shouldn't be taller than somewhere around here anyway. So if I take that off, my problem is this fat. It's really fat in this spot. It's too fat here and too skinny in here. It's too skinny there. You know, I could just come in and go smack, take that right off. But I'm thinking maybe a nice air layer would make a nice tree in the future, so I can air layer that off, and it'll be quite interesting. Or I just come back and cut it off. But yeah, at the moment, can't help myself. Some dead ones there. That's the thinking. So even though these 2 really have been trimmed up and looks quite nice, I'm gonna have to think about this area here. It's the thought process. I mean, I could totally, it's hard. This is straight, all these ones are straight. The only one that's interesting is this one, but it's kind of coming back in on it, everything. And I would have envisioned it coming a bit more straighter in this spot. Hope you guys can see what I'm talking about. The back looks nice too, if you use the back. Not as interesting as the other side, but it's a possibility and option. But now let's maybe see what the roots look like. That's probably the more interesting bit. So once we've done this trim up, so I know, for example, I won't probably never use this one because it's too low. I'm going to get rid of him for now. And I won't use this guy. Because then when I put the air layer on, I'll put it there, and I'll just want to air layer these guys off. And there's some back ones here that probably don't look good either. So if I air layer that, I'm going to have a nice, looks like 5 trunks in one. So if I air layer that, you can see what I mean. It's pretty funky. And then I can just wire one of these guys, start to create a new top. And that's probably the best option for this. You know, don't be scared to cut right back. There's a branch at the back, but you can't really use that one. It'll be one of these guys that we'll use, maybe this guy even, to make the new top. Or you probably get a shoot somewhere in there and something will come up. So I hope you guys can see what I've just mean by that. So if we layer that, looks pretty cool. 5 trunks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look quite nice. I might have to put that air layer on as well. Maybe not today, but we will do it. Alright. But I hope you guys see what I mean by, you know, you get a new tree and you just have to cut back things that you have to cut back. I would have loved to have a top somewhere, but see how straight these are? Yeah, it just doesn't look nice. If this was shorter and there wasn't this reverse taper in here, and I didn't want to make such a massive wound, then I would have done something. So eventually what will happen, I'll air layer, and then I'll make an angle cut there, and so this guy will come in and make a new top and just sit in there. So that's the plan. Let me have a look at the roots now, and we'll do that next. Alright, so still contemplating what to do with that apex. Because a possibility that I could come up on this and come on this branch rather than air lay this off, so, but it's still going to leave a huge wound there to heal over time, so still thinking about that. And now let's get this out of the pot. I did have a quick look, and it's totally monster amount of roots in there, so look at that, all at the bottom. Hope you can see that clearly. Well, tons of it. So this is going to be a bit of a process because it's in such fine mix. I mean, such a fine soil that it's going to take a bit of work to comb all this out. So I'm going to have to really get stuck into that I'm going to see how well this goes with this, because I want to really see what's going on with these branches. I mean, with these roots and trunk, and see how far down it goes. It might be really more interesting down there. Just don't know. I could just saw this right off like that, which possibly I could, but I don't want to. I don't know what's under there to do that. So that's why I need to slowly go through this, comb this out, and see what happens. So let me just get started a little bit. I think it might be a bit too boring for you guys to watch this. So I'm just combing out the top bits to this, see if I can find anything. It's nice. There's a lot of nice fine roots up the top, so it probably tells me that this is quite a short root ball or base. So maybe I might turn this over. Oh, no, I'm not going to get through any of that. That's going to be really hard. So let's try with the scissors. So what I sometimes do, get a saw and go through it, or I just come in with my scissors and pretty much go right around like this. So I pretty much end up with a flat bottom, bit of roots, some big heavy stuff I can feel in there actually. So this has probably been in here for a while. Sharp scissors. Definitely need sharp scissors to do this. Almost there. There you go. Who wants to play frisbee? You could pretty much play frisbee with that. That's just a root mass. Nothing else in there. Fine soil. Nice and firm. Oh, that was hard work. Now I've probably got a chance to actually comb these out, which is what I was trying to get to. So it's much easier to do this now. So the plan now is comb all these roots out. And then I'm going to wash all this old soil off it, and then really try and prune this back until the nice nabari. So whilst I'll get rid of all this is a bit time consuming, so I'll do that and I'll come back and show you what it looks like after I've washed all the soil off, and maybe there's some interesting things that I'll find and I'll bring them to your attention. But let me do this work and then I'll come back and see what we've got. Alright, touch back soon. Alright, so what I've done is, you can see how flat that is now. So what I've done is come right in into there and taken all the heavy roots out. There was nothing exciting, so really the base is just here. The base is just there, so there's nothing I can do. But what I've done is, see, I've combed it all out. I've taken all the heavy roots out of there. There's some roots that are about that thick in there, so they had to come out. Just wanted to show you. But now look how flat that is. That's what you're trying to aim for. Nice flat root base. Now that's going to go into here. I've just mounted the soil in the middle like normally, and that's the only pot I really had that could fit this tree at the moment. I've got to stock up my pots again. So I'm just going to work this tree in. Spread the roots as much as I can. That's it. Now I'm going to always have a nice flat root base to work with. So, around there. So there you go. That's kind of what it looks like. I'm going to tie this in. I think eventually, you know, you work on the roots more and more and you get that finer root base and everything, but that's the first start. So you saw how big that was. It's probably that thick all the way down. It's pretty much come right back, pushed it right in, gone into the middle to make it more flat, radial root base rather than down. So the good thing is I can thread it through here and tie it up. There you go. Now we'll see how it goes in spring, see what it looks like. I might keep that, maybe not, maybe that could be the new leader. So you can see it's actually not bad in that spot, but then I'd have to have massive room in the back there, so that's my only issue. I don't really want to do that. So let me just fill this with soil. Definitely use a chopstick today to get that right in. So I'll quickly grab that in a minute. So why don't you, maybe I was thinking, let me know your opinion, if you can, if you want, on this. Maybe that could be the new top. Given this is the new angle, that could be the new top. And then I cut all that out, or I lay that off, and maybe grow a new top. So yeah, the only way that will work is if this gets really shaved right back. So maybe give me some options and I'll have a look at trying to do that. But let me get the chopstick. Yeah, just having a look at that. That looks pretty good, I think. In that pot, not too bad. So you're going to see a little tree here, a little tree here, and that's way too big, but ultimately a tree in there. So there you go. So there you have it. I'm just going to clean up and finish this tree off, water it in, and that's pretty much it for this. I'm going to leave it and let it recover. I've noticed some of the buds are starting to really swell. Had a nice warm day yesterday. I think that maybe pushed it along. But yeah, I'll worry about all the branching later. This will recover quite easily. But yeah, give me your opinion on what you think we should do up here maybe. You know, think about, I could lay all that off, grow a new top, or I can cut this right back. It'll be nice, it'll be a big wound in there, but it will heal over time, so that's pretty good. But that could be the new top here. So maybe that could be it. Anyway, so let me come back and I'll show you the final product. There you go, nice and watered in. very clean. I think it's going to be a super little tree. I am now thinking that could be the new leader, and I might take all that off. Just give me your thoughts. Still got time to do this in spring as it comes. But yeah, I'm liking the thought of this is the new top. Might work. So see what happens when you actually get it out, root prune it. Look at a nice shallow root base. And these are so heavy and ugly, but this could be really nice now. So, I could try and hide all that once I carve it out nice and clean and seal it up. It gives it time. It needs time to recover, but that looks like the option. So let me know your thoughts. I still got time in spring to do it anyway. Yeah. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed another video. Subscribe as always, and click the little bell icon so you can get notifications of new videos. Thanks, guys.